When you think of nuisance animals, coyotes naturally come to mind because they prey on young livestock and fawns. But in Alabama, the deer themselves are actually a much bigger problem than their predators. Though many non-farmers wouldn't classify them as destructive, white-tailed deer cause significant damage to crops by eating corn and soybeans. But eradicating the deer is not an option for obvious reasons.
I mean, white-tailed deer are an important game species for Alabama. 350,000 hunters per year go to the field in pursuit of big game in Alabama. It's a big economic driver for the state. And so we never want to get rid of all the deer. The real challenge is defining that acceptable level of deer population where you keep the hunters happy, but you can also keep the producers happy.
Another problem animal for landowners is the beaver. These busy animals cause culverts to stop up and roads to wash out. They're blamed for losses of $19 million a year to Alabama's forestry industry. Experts say trapping is the best way to deal with them, and there are private companies that can remove the animals. But Dr. Smith says there's enough information available on the internet for landowners who want to eliminate the problem themselves. But while removing the beavers may be a do-it-yourself job, getting rid of their dam is something you'll definitely want to leave to the experts.
If you're going to take heavy equipment in swamps, you have to go through the Corps of Engineers and do a lot of paperwork. We can go in, remove a dam safely, as long as we don't have power lines or other houses. Now, when you're blowing up these dams, electric is one of the safest ways because if a plane flies over, I can stop.
While beavers are a constant problem for some landowners, feral hogs are becoming a crisis in many areas as their populations continue to increase and expand. The animals were first introduced to North America in the 1500s by explorers like De Soto to be used as a food source. Their numbers stayed in check for about 400 years until hunting them gained popularity in the last 20.
Nowadays it's pretty much illegal capturing, transporting to other areas which don't have hogs and then releasing hogs into those areas, mainly stemming from a hunting perspective, which it sounds like a good idea for those who didn't have hogs and enjoy hog hunting. But once those populations get established and start expanding and damage they create, oftentimes landowners are upset with that and come full circle and realize the mistake that they've made in releasing hogs on their property.
Wildlife experts say it's against the law to capture feral hogs and move them across property lines. But in Alabama, for example, the fine is only $500 for a conviction. As a result, the trapping and transporting continues, causing the population to continue to increase and to spread. Less than a decade ago, hogs were in just 10 states in the South. Today, they can be found in 44 states.
Unfortunately, somewhere in Alabama today, there's a load of hogs on the back of a truck, and they're going to be placed into an area where there weren't hogs yesterday. Hogs didn't get to Wisconsin flying. Somebody moved them on the back of a truck. So nationwide, that's our biggest problem, is illegal trapping, transport, and relocation of feral hogs.
Jaworski says wild hogs cause $90 million in damage each year just in Alabama. The nationwide total is $1.5 billion. He says most of the land affected is used for hunting, pasture, and farming.
Peanuts, corn, beans, just about any crop that's planted. A lot of recreational food plots are destroyed by feral swine rooting. Chufa is a very popular plant that's used for turkey management and food plots. Hogs love them. It's a smorgasbord buffet for hogs. There's a lot of rooting that occurs in pasture land. Hogs are after worms or grubs or tubers. They're going to root up that soil to get to those food items. Rooting along roads would be another source of damage that hogs may do. Then there's also competition with native wildlife for hard and soft mass, acorns, competition with our native deer and turkey.
Those who study hogs say controlling the damage through management is the only way to deal with the swine invasion. They say the problem will never be eliminated because they're such prolific breeders.
We started out with 2 boars and 2 sows, and they produce on average 5 to 6 piglets per litter twice per year. You know, over 3 years, we're looking at several thousand swine. In fact, in Alabama, we have 2 landowners, those with hogs and those about to have hogs.
Although eradication is not an option, control is. Experts say trapping the animals is the most cost-effective means of dealing with feral hogs, but it'll take a combination of methods to control the damage to property.
They're highly intelligent, they're very pressure sensitive, they're fast runners, they can swim across rivers. You have to use as many different techniques as you can. The most common techniques used, trapping is probably your most cost efficient, use less man hours trapping. Use hunting, of course. You can, under permit, through the Department of Conservation, we can write you a permit to shoot them at night, to shoot them over bait. Without that permit, it's against the law to hunt them over bait or at night.
Jaworski said the hunting option should be used in addition to trapping, not instead of. But he says, like most anything else, there's a right way and a wrong way to trap wild hogs.
The biggest mistake that landowners make when they start a trapping program is they build their trap and they throw a little bait in it and they set it the first night. And the problem with that is you end up educating a lot of hogs. What we want to do is decrease the trap shyness for those pigs. That way we get that whole family group in the trap at once. So the ideal way to build a trap and get it ready for trapping pigs is to build your trap, tie the doors open, and let the hogs come in and out. You want to bait it up real good, let them come in and out, let them feed in the trap. It may be a week, it may be 2 weeks. I don't want to set my door until I think a whole family group is getting inside that trap. And you either know that from trail camera photos set up over the trap, watching to see what's coming in, or you just look at the amount of sign in the trap. If there's just a few, rootings in the trap or a little bit of tracks, it's not time. You have to be patient. If you'll be patient, you can catch that whole family group at one time. Once you're ready and you know that a bunch of pigs are going in at one time and they're accustomed to coming in and out of the trap, you come in the next day, you set that trap, and when you come back the following day, hopefully you're going to have 10 or 12, 15 pigs.
Jaworski says there are a lot of different types of traps available, costing from thousands of dollars to just a few hundred. Generally, he says, the less expensive ones work just as well as the traps that cost much more. And there are many different designs available on the internet. Now, after catching a group of hogs, there's always the problem of what to do with them, but Jaworski says that's actually not a problem at all.
That's the only good thing about a hog is they do provide a good source of, table meat. If you like wild game, or barbecues, hogs are great to eat.